How many sex partners is too many? Have you ever questioned your sexuality? Yes. Sleeping with an ex or not? Allow me to introduce myself as your honorary big sis. I won't buy you alcohol, but I will give you advice and you can borrow my clothes.
In my unbiased opinion, you're a motherfucking cat.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Ali and today we're talking about the man that's just walking past my window. So I put out a questions thing on Instagram. If you're not following me on there, what are you doing? Linked below. I said nothing is off limits and you guys did not disappoint. So this is actually part 3 in the Girl Talk series. I've done 2 of these before in the past and you guys really liked them. And I decided to spice this one up. I'm drinking something a little bit stronger than iced coffee this time. You know, it's the weekend. We have some raunchy questions, so why not? So if you would like to join me in having a drink, please feel free to do so if you're of age. Cheers, and if not, this is just kombucha. Before I start, I would just like to thank today's video sponsor, which is Luisa. So Luisa is an ethical jewelry brand that's based out of Brooklyn, New York, which, I mean, you guys know means a lot to me. I get a lot of compliments and questions about my gold jewelry. I wear lots of like little dainty gold things, and 99% of the time they are from Luisa. Not only are their pieces made out of recycled gold, so it's like giving something a new life, bringing new purpose to an old piece of jewelry that already existed, but they also offset 100% of their carbon emissions, which is just awesome. They have pieces for as low as $39 all the way up to higher end pieces, so there's really something for everyone. Now I have quite a few pieces from Luisa, but today I'm wearing these beautiful dainty little gold necklaces. This is 2 pieces that I layered together, and this is great for when I just want something a little bit understated, a little bit simple, when I'm wearing like a cool outfit, as well as these gorgeous little earrings that are just so divine and make me feel a little bit holy. I also got these earrings because I've always just loved the look of like a stacked ear with a couple of different earrings, but I really can't commit to that kind of thing. So these gave me the impression that I'm just a little bit cooler than I am. They're obviously really kind to the earth and they're also very kind to my skin. I feel like you reach a certain point and you just can't wear jewelry pieces that make your skin turn green anymore. It had its moment, but we've graduated, we've moved on from that. We're here now and we're here to stay. I wear these pieces non-stop, like all the time. I don't take them off. I wear them hiking, swimming, in the ocean, in the shower, and the quality has just remained the same. They're also currently running an exclusive Black Friday sale, so if you would like to pick up anything, I'll leave my link below. Thank you so much, Luisa, for sponsoring today's video and for making me feel so cute. All right, so before the alcohol hits me too hard, let's do this. Okay, first question is, would you ever get a boob job? This question just made me laugh so much because it's like, yeah, I mean, I get why you're asking. If you'd asked me this as a teenager, I probably would have said yes, or at least that I would think about it, but now, absolutely not. I was very insecure when I was younger about just like not having boobs at all. In fact, I remember my friends telling me that I could wear 2 bras or like a push-up bra and another bra and it would make them bigger, and spoiler alert, it did, but it was just so uncomfortable that it's, yeah, not sustainable at all, not worth it. Even the thought of wearing something with an underwire now just sounds like torture. And I think now that I'm in my 20s, not only am I more comfortable with myself within my skin, I prioritize comfort over everything else at all times. So, you know, I'm either gonna be wearing a bralette or nothing at all. It's like if you watched my clearing out my wardrobe, trying on all of my clothes video, I talked a bit about this, and I do get frustrated that clothes don't fit me as well as like they're designed to, or as well as they fit other girls. But I know that problem exists for girls with big boobs as well, and it's just not really worth my time worrying about, especially when I think about the fact that like within my life, I'm someone that loves to like run. Well, that's a lie. I do run, I don't love it. Play sport, and like I'm active and I love dancing, things like that. And I think having bigger boobs would actually be more annoying. So, plus it's not like $10,000. Like I could live overseas for like 6 months on that money. So it's a no from me, dog. I'll take what I've got. I'm 22 and I have never had sex. What if I'm still a virgin when I'm 30? Yeah, exactly. What if? I just want to drive home that there is no age limit or timeline or certain age that you're meant to have done anything by. It's absolutely just up to you. And like, there are 1,000 people that would sleep with you if you wanted to, but you haven't because you just haven't wanted to. There isn't someone that you've wanted to sleep with. So that is completely fine. And I talk about this in quite a lot more detail, like my experience and stuff, in the first Girl Talk video. So I'll link that down below, but I just wanted to mention it briefly here to let you know that you are not alone, because I got at least 100 messages like like that. Have you ever questioned your sexuality? Yes, actually. When I was a little bit younger, I thought maybe I was asexual or demisexual or something like that because I just wasn't really interested in the boys that I knew, or like if I'd get asked out, I was just kind of like terrified by that and like wasn't into it, wasn't interested. Turns out I'm just very picky. I have very high standards and for the most part didn't like Australian boys. So that was just kind of my own journey of figuring that out. At the end of the day, I do still think sexuality is a spectrum and everyone falls somewhere along that line and will probably shift throughout their lifetime, but there's no right or wrong answer, and there's not even really a clear answer because I think it can change. But if you are questioning your sexuality, just know that that is totally fine and totally good and totally great. And if you realize that you are something other than straight, then you just have this great big community out there ready to accept you with welcome arms. Is it normal that my is sore after sex? We could go for another round, but I'm too sore. Firstly, it's good that you're down to go for another round because it means you're enjoying it. Always a good sign that you're, you know, having fun. With sex, we want to focus on the 3 F's, and that is foreplay, foreplay, and foreplay. Boys are kind of like an instant pot. They're ready to go, you know? But girls are like a nice slow roast. You gotta take it slow, you gotta warm things up, you gotta preheat that oven. Sometimes you even need to adjust the heat or add a little bit more during. Could just be that it's going for too long, so you could speak to your partner about trying for a sprint rather than a marathon. But if something does feel really wrong and like actually sore, you should always stop. And if this is something that consistently is happening to you, I would just try and speak to your doctor about it, let them know how you're feeling and see what they say. Sleeping with an ex or not. We're friends and see each other regularly, but are both feeling lonely. I think 99% of the time it's not a good idea. I feel like sex with an ex is kind of like picking at an old scab that you're probably best to just let heal. Maybe out there's like 1% of exes that can do this and have casual sex and be fine and have no feelings come back into it at all. But I think that's the exception, not the rule, especially since you mentioned you're friends and see each other regularly. If there's a chance that either of you would get hurt, it's probably just not worth it because you might lose that friendship. Have you ever experienced PTSD and does it ever get better? Yes, I have. So I was in a pretty severe car crash a few years ago, I think in about 2016. Thankfully, we were all okay, but it was like a very traumatizing experience, even though I was knocked unconscious and I think had, what's it called, a concussion. It's still having an effect for about 2 years. It was really hard for me to be in a car at all, even as a passenger. My mind would just replay what happened and kind of expect that it would happen again, which is totally normal. I think that's sort of a survival instinct. You know, your brain remembers this trauma and is like, what if it happens again? Please don't feel bad if you have experienced a trauma and do have PTSD. It is a very normal response and it's okay. I think time does heal a lot of wounds, but also talking about it helps, whether that means therapy or just with friends. I know not everyone can afford or get access to therapy, but just speaking about it with people that you trust and feel comfortable with, and also sort of a bit of graduated exposure. So getting yourself into that situation again in small, comfortable doses and like easing up to that. And honestly, that's still something that I struggle with to this day. I still hate driving. I've been a passenger in 3 car crashes now, so my brain is definitely like, what are you doing? That's not safe. I think everyone has their own that we're dealing with basically, and it's okay. Just be kind to yourself, and if you can try and work through that, it will help and it'll take up less space in your brain. Okay, this question made me laugh. How do you deal with your chubby cheeks when thin face seems ideal? So in primary school, my best friend and I both had big old chipmunk cheeks, and I think we were just called chubby cheeks, or like the chubby cheeks something or other. And now, do I think about these things? Not really. It's kind of like the small boobs thing, you know? It's like there are just so many things in the world that I could focus my attention on or worry about, and the size of my cheeks is not one of them. Sometimes I even try and think about the positives. When I'm older, I'm still gonna hopefully look young and fresh and like save money, because a lot of people might be getting Botox injected into their cheekbones to like have a bit more fat there, and I'm like, already got it for free, grew this myself. No one has a perfect face. Everyone has something that they would change if they could. My chubby cheeks would not even be in the top 10 things that I would change about myself if I could. Yes, you can contour if you want to, makeup's fun to play with, but like at the end of the day, it just makes my smile a bit bigger, makes me look young. So I don't know, I've learned to love love them. How to change toxic friendships if I don't want them to end because I love them so much. I'm sorry, did I ghostwrite this question? This is something that I have struggled with my whole life. As a teenager and even now in my 20s, I find it really, really hard to firstly recognize when a friend is taking advantage of me or not treating me the way I deserve, but then to do something about it. And I think that just comes from like knowing your self-worth. The only way to open up the space in your life for a really good friendship or relationship for that matter is to clear out the old and the bad and the, you know, toxic, and let someone else reach that standard. So to answer your question, if you really don't want to let go of them, which you probably should, and I probably should too, if you do want to just sort of work on improving that relationship, it just starts with communication. So having an open dialogue with them about maybe how you're feeling. And this is actually a good test because if they're a good friend who really loves you and cares about you, they will be open to that. They will want to hear how you feel and they will want to do better. So if they don't, you kind of know that maybe that's a cord you need to cut loose anyway. Advice on how to come out to friends. So I am essentially the token straight friend of one of my big groups of friends that I've had for like 10 years. So I sent your question to them and just said like, do you guys have any advice? Because this is something that I haven't gone through, but they all have. Their very helpful suggestion was to make out with someone of the same gender in front of your other friends. Thanks Lola, super helpful. Generally, I think the best thing is just to make sure it's friends that you're really, really comfortable with, confident that they are like good, accepting people and you feel safe around them. Your safety is obviously the number one most important thing here. If you don't really have any friends in your life that are also out, my Facebook group Al's Pals is filled with lots of women that love women or are gay, bisexual, lesbian. There are constantly people in there talking about, you know, their girlfriends and dating girls and things like that. So you're more than welcome to join that and ask questions or just kind of meet people in there if you want. I know some of my followers from that group and from Instagram and stuff have met in real life and became friends, but even more than that, some have met and ended up dating. So if that ends up happening, I'll expect an invite to the wedding. Just know that you're loved and everything will be okay. I feel like I have gained so much weight this year. What do I do? I don't think you need to do anything, to be honest. Weight gain on its own is not automatically a problem or a sign of poor health. It's kind of just a reflection of what you're going through in life at the moment. And it is very, very normal for our weight to fluctuate, going up or down during a time of mass trauma, which is essentially what this year is. I've talked about this again in my trying on clothes video, how my weight has changed a lot this year. Once things are safer in the world again, your body will automatically find its happy weight just by living the way that you usually do. It's not something that you need to like counteract or fix. The best thing you can do right now is just to embrace it and be kind to yourself. I struggle with an eating disorder and I worry that going vegan might be too restrictive. I actually agree with that. I think that veganism is at the core about compassion and you have to extend that to yourself as well. So I would love for you to focus on healing your mind, your body and your soul before worrying about anyone else. It's kind of like that old adage of, you know, putting on your oxygen mask before assisting anyone else. You can't really help anyone or think about, you know, healing the world or doing any kind of activism, as even as passive as veganism is, if you don't really first work on yourself. I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry. I'm very superstitious. Someone please comment bless you down below because I'm alone right now. How to make friends as an adult. Firstly, do you say adult or adult? Now that I've said them both, I know which is right. I found the best way to meet like-minded people now that I'm out of school is just to follow my passions or my hobbies. So for you, that might be joining a dance studio or taking art classes or doing a team sport or anything like that where you're going to meet people that are there for the same purpose as you because you immediately have something in common, something to talk about, and are going to have regularly scheduled meetings with them, so you're going to see them regularly anyway, and that's sort of a good way to form a bond. To be honest, I've made a lot of my closest best friendships in the past 5 or so years through social media, so if that's something you feel comfortable doing, that's great too, because it's a place where people share a bit about themselves. Even if you just connect on the smallest thing but realize you have the same sense of humor or like the same band or anything, it can really kind of snowball from there. Like, I made a lot of good friends in the vegan community quite a few years back, and even if they aren't all vegan now, we just have formed such a solid foundation and like deep love for each other and an appreciation of all these different things that now have this like strong unbreakable bond, and that feels really nice. It's very common as we get older for our sort of circle of friends to get a little bit smaller as we're not in school seeing people every single day, but those people that are still in your group will be ones that you really love and they're there by choice, not out of convenience. How to be more confident. You've heard this a million times and I'm going to say say it again. Fake it till you make it. The only thing that you need to do in life to be confident or hot or cool or anything you want to be is decide that you are. It's like if someone asks, can I pull off this piece of clothing? If you decide you can, then you can. That's it. In terms of practical things you can do, you could have mantras for yourself that you say before you go somewhere. You can write things on your mirror. I would recommend making a playlist for yourself that makes you feel bomb as. Here's an exercise for you. Anytime you're walking somewhere, imagine that scene in Easy A when she's just made her little corset with the embroidered A on it. She's walking slow-mo down the hallway, confident as hell. All the heads are turning to look at her. Channel your inner Olive Pendergast. If someone in a movie can do it, you can do it too. Apparently I'm at the age where I need to stop halfway through a video and get up and stretch because my knees are so sore. How many sex partners is too many? There is no such number.
The limit does not exist.
Whether that is 0 or 1,000. So there is no right or wrong. You can sleep with as many people as you feel like. I just have 2 things that I would say. This is some real big sis talk here. The first is that I want you to value your body. And by that I don't mean if you have sex with too many people, you're dirty, or they've taken something from you, or you lose value, or anything like that. That's shamey and gross and not true at all. I just mean you should only have sex with someone that deserves to have sex with you. So in the same way you value your time when you're hanging out with friends, I'm not saying you need to be in love with them or have emotional connections with everyone you sleep with if that's not what works for you. I'm just saying that you should be picky. Be picky with who you sleep with in the same way that you're picky with who you're friends with and who you spend your time with. It is a privilege and it is an honor to sleep with you, and not everyone deserves that. And the second thing is be safe. Always, always, always be safe.
Okay, everybody take some rubbers.
Protect your body, protect your energy, and if it ever feels wrong, stop. You can always stop, no matter how far in you are, no matter if it's a stranger or your boyfriend or your husband or your wife, you can say stop at any moment, and that is okay. I'm a feminist. Should I still let guys buy me drinks? So I recently learned about push presents, which is where the husband typically gets a gift or buys a present for the wife to be like, thank you for pushing a human out of your like, this is a thank you for doing that. I think guys buying drinks at a bar is kind of similar to that. It's like the equivalent when we haven't reached that stage of life yet. It's like, sorry for the pay gap, here's a drink. Well, I think that is all the questions I'm going to answer today, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and more importantly, thank you if you submitted a question. If you did like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It really, really helps my channel. It helps other people find this video, and it just helps me know what you like to see. Obviously, subscribe down below if you haven't already, and I will see you in